Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and there has been a massive leak of some of the Wilds of Eldraine cards. So if you don't want to ruin the set, too bad, WotC already did. So let's jump in with Balloona Grand Squall. It's a 3-color 4/4 legendary creature giant noble. It's green, blue, red, very odd color combination. And it has the cast as an adventure or cast as a creature feature. So Seek Thrills is you pay 2 extra and then the color combination. Instant speed, mill 7 cards, then put all cards that have an adventure from among them into your hand. That's kind of wild. And then you can cast it as a creature, 4/4 with trample for 3, geez. And permanent spells you cast that have an adventure cost 1 less to cast. So just a big old adventure generator. I think this is supposed to be some kind of like really obscure commander card, and yet it's in the main set. Now see, the fact that this is a mythic and starts with the letter B, and then you look at the number at the bottom where it says 0220, meaning this is 220 in the set, then because the numbers are in alphabetical order, that means probably something significant, but I didn't give enough of a crap to look into it. So next up we've got Realm Scorcher Hellkite. They thought it was just a normal day kiting with a soft breeze in the meadow. Wrong. This was a Hellkite. Anyone ever stop and think that's like a really weird name, actually? So anyway, 6 cost red mythic hello creature dragon. It has bargain. You may sacrifice an artifact, enchantment, or token as you cast this spell. Okay. It said pay more, get more, overload, kicker, strive, they all work a little differently. Kinda neat. So flying in haste, and when it enters battlefield, if it was bargained, add 4 mana in any combination of colors. Ooh. I didn't think that's where they were going with that, but it has, remember, flying and haste, and then if you can pay 2 mana, 1 generic, 1 red, then it deals 1 damage to any target. So you can spend the mana if you have really nothing better to do, otherwise you might be able to get a little 2-for-1 special. Kinda neat. I'd be interested in playing with this type of mechanic if Standard wasn't a complete and utter train wreck. That really actually is a shame. Next up we got Food Fight. It's 2 cost rare enchantment, and artifacts you control have pay 2, sacrifice this artifact. It deals damage to any target equal to 1 plus the number of permanents named Food Fight you control. Instead of artifacts, they should have written food. Food tokens, because, yeah, I think they're artifacts. But this isn't one of those you can have as many as you want in your deck, which is good because I just absolutely hate that because it just violates everything, including Singleton. But, how are you even supposed to get 2 of these out? And did you notice that they've got the Planeswalker symbol in the top right? 1, I didn't think it looked quite like that. I thought it was in a little offset thing. And then 2, I thought that meant it's like a special reprint. I think it means it was from the list or something. You guys know what I'm talking about. But this isn't it, so you gotta wonder, what does that actually mean? So next up, we've got an uncommon Fairy Dream Thief. It's a 1 cost 1/1 creature fairy warlock. So it's flying, and when it enters the battlefield, surveil 1. Nice, guess we're doing that again. And if you pay 3, exile Fairy Dream Thief from your graveyard, you may draw a card and lose 1 life. I've got to say, I know we've seen mythics and rares only so far, and then this is an uncommon. This already looks like, just from the average power level, and from the mechanics, that it would be really fun to draft. I reserve the right to very much change that assessment. Next up, we got Feral Encounter. It's a 2 cost green sorcery rare. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may exile a creature card from among them. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. You may cast the exiled card this turn. At the beginning of the next combat phase this turn, target creature you control gains damage or deals damage equal to its power to up to 1 target creature you don't control. So you're down 2 mana, you have to actually hit a creature, which out of 5, it'll whiff once in a while, but it should in the right deck. Then you still have to pay the full mana cost for the creature, and then whether you successfully did any of that or not, at the beginning of your next combat phase this turn, so it has to be cast pre-main phase sorcery speed, then you just get, the fake force fight, which, if you're going to fight something, be bigger. That's kind of like what green does. So this whole, well, that's not good enough because what if they boost it, or what if you need to take out something that's bigger? Let's just have it deal damage equal to its power, and then there's no strike back, so it can't kill me back. That's just removal. That's just stupid. I feel like they went a little far with that, but they went a little far without 50 other things, so it doesn't really seem overpowered these days. I don't like it, though. If you want to fight me and see what happens, you know what I mean? Now, if for some reason you cast this during your second main phase, you just get a force fight for 2, so, alright. This is such a weird combination of two completely different cards that have next to nothing to do with each other. It's just weird. So next up, we got the classic Stroke of Midnight. It's a 3-cost white instant, uncommon, and destroy target non-land permanent. Its controller creates a 1/1 white human creature token. So the rarity on the bottom says promo pack, but it doesn't have the little Planeswalker symbol, so it's not like one of those weird reprints. I really don't know what they're doing with that symbol. Maybe it's like an embedded near-field communication or NFC chip where you can hold the card with that symbol up to like a payment terminal at Taco Bell and get a free taco. You come up with a better guess, okay? Well, giving white blow up absolutely anything for free and then giving them a useless 1/1, that's pretty darn good. Next up, Tangle Spam Lookout. It's a 3-cost green 2/3, also promo pack card. Whenever a aura enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. Ooh, that could get out of control. I mean, this is 3. It is a creature, you can blow it up, but that still can get kinda nutty. But if they're gonna try to pull off aura stacks where you just go aura, 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 ooh, I win with one creature, aka what I always call an Ender's Game deck, you'd probably have to see the movie to figure that one out. And they're going to try to pull that off with this much control? Good luck. Next up, The End. Strangely not marked as one of those story spotlight cards, but okay. So a lot of words going on here. It's a rare black spell with that Planeswalker symbol that's back again for some reason. So it's 4-cost black instant, and this spell costs 2 less to cast if your life total is 5 or less. Nice. Exile target creature or planeswalker, search its controller's graveyard, hand, and library. Oh my god, that only works on digital. I hate that effect. It's such a waste of time at tournaments. Search it for any number of cards with the same name as that permanent and exile them. That player shuffles, then draws a card for each card exiled from their hand this way. So unbelievably annoying. Remember, they are legally allowed within the rules to take a reasonable amount of time while fanning through your deck to write down every single card in it. I don't know if anybody's ever done that, but yeah, no thanks. Next up, Spellbook Vendor. It's a 2-cost white rare 2/2 creature human peasant with vigilance, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, you may pay 1 generic. When you do, it should say if you do, create a sorcerer role token attached to target creature you control. What? Is this a D&D set? If you control another role on it, put that one into the graveyard, discriminating against multi-classers, and then enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has whenever this creature attacks, scry 1. So we're going to have, like, jobs, I guess. Another thing that is stupidly annoying to try to track in paper, unless they print it as, like, tokens or something. Or like on a token card, like a reminder card of what each roll does, then you attach it, but then it's a card, but it's not really there because it's not really a permanent. And, I wonder if they're designing all these cards for digital. Next up, this should sound familiar. It's Expel the Interlopers. 5-cost double white, white sorcery. Choose a number between 0 and 10, and I believe in the official rules that includes 0 and 10, despite that not being what that sentence says. Destroy all creatures with power greater than or equal to the chosen numbers. That's right, explode the fatties, which is what it should have been called. Next up, Gruff Triplets. It's a, triple green 6-cost creature satyr warrior, 3/3, trample, and when it enters the battlefield, if it isn't a token, create 2 tokens that are copies of it. Nice. When it dies, put a number of 1/1 counters equal to its power on each creature you control named Gruff Triplets. That's like that worm that splits in half, but like way worse. So let's say you kill just one. Cool, the other 2 get +3/+3 counters each. Now that brings it up to a vanilla 6/6, except that you get 2 of them, and what if somebody just board wipes, but like 3 kill spells to take this thing out? This is like a sleeper killer good card. Triple creature ETB, and then possibly triple death triggers with like bonuses on top of it. This is kinda nuts. I might have to throw this in a cloner deck just for laughs, but I'm also super done playing standard, so I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I bet that's going to be a $10 card. There's so much you can do with it. Next up, Song of Totentans. I do wonder what's going on here. I guess this is like Twisted Fairy Tales or something, because this is obviously the Pied Piper. But if you read the flavor text, townsfolk tapped their feet and hummed along, unwittingly amplifying the tune that would summon their doom. So instead of driving the rats out, The Pied Piper's bringing the rats in. Okay, so anyway, it's a red sorcery, 1 red plus X. Create X/1/1 black rat creature tokens with this creature can't block. Creatures you control gain haste until end of turn. That is a terribly annoying ambush. That's almost like borderline too good by giving them haste. That's another potential $10 card. That's pretty darn good. Next up, Asinine Antics, and they're turning them into donkeys because this is literally an unset with a coat of paint on it. So it's a blue mythic 4 cost. You may cast Asinine Antics as though it had flash if you pay 2 more to cast it. For each creature your opponents control, create a cursed roll token attached to that creature. If you control another roll on it, put that one into the graveyard, and then enchanted creature is 1/1. It doesn't say it loses abilities or triggers or activated anything. So, I mean, it's bad, but it might not be that bad. Very weird. Next up, Spiteful Hexmage. It's a 1-cost black creature human warlock, 3/2. And when Spiteful Hexmage enters the battlefield, create a cursed roll token attached to target creature you control. You control. I mean, it is a 3/2 for 1. But something else becomes a 1/1. Now, what if it was already a 1/1? There you go. But then it's probably late enough in the game that this doesn't really matter. So it looks good on the surface, but it's not that good. But it's also, like, pretty good under the right circumstances. Next up, Scalding Viper, because the Izzet Guild gets around. It's, oh wow, a mono red card otherwise, but then mono blue on the sorcery. Okay. 2-cost Elemental Snake. If you were to cast it normally, it's a 2-something, and whenever an opponent casts a spell with mana value 3 or less, Scalding Viper deals 1 damage to that player. Nice. And then we got Steam Clean, the alternative here, which is Sorcery Adventure. Like I said, blue. 2-cost, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Yeah, just your normal spell spamming crap. Nothing too special. Next up, we've got Restless. What the heck does that say? I'm going to say Bivouac. That's a temporary camp without tents or cover, used especially by soldiers or mountaineers. All right, that explains it. And it's bivouac, apparently. That is just weird. So it's a land, it enters tapped, add 1 red or white, and then if you pay 3 total, Restless, whatever I just said, turns into a 2/2 red and white ox creature until end of turn. It's still a land. I hate manlands that kind of ruin the game, but this one's pretty tame. It's just vanilla. And then whenever it attacks, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Probably should say another target creature you control, but it would take a while for this to like build up. And yeah, it's almost impossible to blow up off turn, which is why everybody hates these stupid things. But it's going to be turn after turn after turn after turn after turn until this is like big enough to matter, I guess, and you're paying for it the whole time. But like, we could just let lands be lands and stop doing the manland thing, right? Come on. Next up, we got Restless Spire, another manland, so you know what it does. It enters tapped, by the way. If you pay 1 of each color, well, blue and red, until end of turn, it becomes a 2/1 blue and red elemental creature with as long as it's your turn. This creature has first strike, it's still a land, and then whatever attacks, scry 1. Hey. Nice way to get you out of a top decking situation. Then we got our Restless Vinestalk. Another manland, you get it. Pay 5, turns into a 5/5 green and blue plant creature token with trample, and then when it attacks up to 1 other target creature, has base power and toughness 3/3, which means it could get bigger if it had any kind of counters on it. That one's a little narrow, but I mean, getting hit by a 5/5 that you can't blow up off turn and probably also can't blow up on turn. Yeah, very, very annoying. Next up, we've got Horned Lock Whale, so I guess we don't get to find out what the rest do, but somebody obviously got a hold of some product and opened these. But yeah, it's a 6-cost 6/6 green whale. It appears to be on the land, which means it is a feminist. So creature whale, if you cast it as a creature, it's flash and ward 2, nice. When it enters the battlefield, it enters tapped unless it's your turn. Then what's the point? And if you cast it for just 2 as an instant speed adventure, the owner of target attacking creature you don't control puts it on the top or bottom of their library. So bye-bye. So fun little random fact here. I think this is nothing, but looking through the cards, they're all like, you know, compressed and uploaded to the internet, you know, free image host, whatever. And then probably downloaded and recompressed. But it's still, to me, Just squinting, looks like some of these have the wrong copyright date. It's like 9 pixels or something trying to make out the letter 3, but did I just say letter? Look, it's really late at night. But a lot of these, just flipping through them, look like a 1, especially this. I don't know, it'd be a really thick 1, but I just thought this is a little weird. And then you got the Planeswalker symbol. Who knows what that is? I don't know if Watsy's ever explained that yet. So, I don't know. I didn't have time to research it. I'm working on a side project that is going to make more money than I make in a year on YouTube these days. So, I'm still here making content, and I always will be. Got to cover this Magic stuff, but I've been a little preoccupied with something. I'll be back at it full speed in a couple weeks, though. Just like a Raging Battle Mouse. So, 2 cost 2/1. White creature mouse, red. It is really late at night, and it's been a really interesting day. Hey, shout out to my friend Eric who posted my bail. Just kidding. So, the second spell you cast each turn costs 1 less to cast. Oh, spell spamming. Fun. Celebration. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if 2 or more non-land permanents enter the battlefield under your control this turn, target creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. I'll be honest, I kind of glazed over and just started thinking of like weird mouse memes halfway through that, so let me just run through this again. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if 2 or more non-land permanents enter the battlefield you control this turn, okay, then 1 target creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn, and then obviously for each creature that is celebration. So this builds on a card we just saw, but like one of the major mechanics is blindside your opponent and swing with boosted, maximized creatures all at once, giving them absolutely no time to respond, which is one of the most hated things in all of Magic. Not giving somebody enough time to respond has been one of the most famously hated things by anywhere from casual to pro players. It's unfair, it's narrow, it's stupid. It's like a glass cannon deck with, I was going to say more steps, but less steps. You could pilot this if you're a dumb ape. So I think that's a terrible direction to take mono red in, and I don't think this mixes very well with the existing toxic decks. Let's just put it that way. Now I get it, it's a red mechanic, but I feel like somebody's going to do something with like cards outside this set, and it might result in one of those emergency bans they keep talking about. So we'll see. Next up, Eldraine, the Pyro Hammer. I like her already. It's a 4-cost double red 4/4 legendary creature, human knight, and whenever an instant or sorcery spell you control that targets only a single creature deals damage to that creature, Eldraine deals that much damage to each opponent. So this is a little red wins assistant, but too expensive. Kind of weird that it's a rare, and then it's only legendary because there's a proper noun and title, like actual name in the card name. They don't really care about power levels. They don't really care about stacking triggers. They just care about names. Kinda wish they didn't take the story that seriously, but okay. And the flavor text is, of course, the realm needed a ruler, not a boy playing king. Yep, feminist fantasy once again. Next up, Sentinel of Lost Lore. Might have lost the lore, but girl found the hair bleach. Or guy. I'm not sure, and neither is Watsy. So it's a 3-cost green 3/4 creature, elf knight. Oh, an overpowered creature for under cost. Okay, it's a female. When Sentinel of Lost Lore enters battlefield, choose 1 or more. Return target card you own in exile that has an adventure to your hand. Put target card you don't own in exile that has an adventure on the bottom of its owner's library, and then exile target player's graveyard. Oh, no more going on an adventure now. You just got it slapped out of your exile pile. I love the last bit where you can just tack on nuke the whole graveyard. That's awesome. This is so specific and weird while also being like a moderately good card. Next up, Mosswood Dread Knight. It's a 2-cost green, 3/2 human knight. You got the sorcery option, or the adventure option, pardon me, sorcery speed. 2-cost black Dread Whispers. You draw a card and lose 1 life. Okay. And then trample. When Mosswood Dread Knight dies, you may cast it from your graveyard as an adventure until the end of your next turn. Ooh, 1 and done. That's like kind of actually a spicy card. I just don't really like the misleading color combination. I don't know how you'd miss that, but it's not a gold border. I read the whole card before you draft it, but it just looks weird to me. Next up, Hylda's Crown of Winter. Also not a story spotlight card. So it's a 3-cost legendary artifact, rare, and if you pay 1 and tap it, tap target creature. This ability costs 1 less to activate during your turn. Holy crap, that effect is powerful. People underrate that, especially in draft, but it shouldn't come up much because it's a rare, but when it does, that person is going to win the draft. It's like pin down you have to pay for, but like, you know, don't sleep on it because that like 1-3 or 0-3 or whatever from Dominaria United, that's a bomb card. You can hold off an entire army with that thing. But that's, you know, slower, lower powered, less synergy. Limited, of course, compared to Constructed. Now, if you pay 3, you can sack it and draw a card for each tapped creature your opponents control. Holy hell, that's overpowered. I mean, they attack, you fog them, and then you refill your entire hand. It's not like they, like, wouldn't see this coming, except they could, because you could just drop this in for 3 and then pay 3. I guess, and then also pay to fog them. That's getting high, but still. I don't know, survive the attack, stun everything the turn before, you know, with a stun counter. You could do some messed up stuff with this, and it's colorless. Like, this is dangerous to put this in the hands of every single possible conceivable deck. I don't like it. They should have had a tap ability, and then this enters tap to stop that 3 from being so devastating. It's just such a ridiculous ambush. I mean, you ain't doing anything that turn, and you probably didn't make the creatures go away, but still, this is just, like, really good. So next up, 3 Blind Mice. It's 3 cost rare saga, because of course we're going to have sagas, and no read ahead or anything, but 1, create a 1/1 mouse, or white mouse creature token, and then 2, create a token that's a copy of target token you control. White-blue cloners, let's go! So that was chapters 2 and 3, and then chapter 4, creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain vigilance till end of turn. I think that they knew darn well what they were doing, and this is still really narrow, but like, this could be absolutely bonkers. I can't name like a giant white token, but you could just splash a color, play cloners, and yeah. It's a turn remove, so like once again, it's not that good, but this could really do crazy stuff in a combo. It just comes down to how easy is that combo to pull off, and I'm thinking not very, but still. Like, just think about 2, then 3, and then 4. With a little time to set it up. I mean, it's a little late, but like, man, that would be a crazy deck. So next up, Thunderous Debut. It's an 8 cost green sorcery. Bargain, you may sack an artifact or enchantment or token as you cast a spell. So, you know, food token, just saying. And then look at the top 20 cards of your library, because why the hell not? You may reveal up to 2 creature cards from among them. If this spell was bargained, put the revealed cards onto the battlefield. Otherwise, put them in your hand. A top 20, not even real tutor, in a color that doesn't tutor, so like, I get it. 8 cost, and you don't even get to free cast them for 8 unless you sacked something. The upsides in power level are so crazy, and the downsides are so drastic, I don't even know what to say about this. It's just completely insane, so I'm going to move on. Heartflame Duelist. It's a 2 cost white, and I guess also kind of red. Human knight creature, but also, you know what it is, adventure. So for 2 plus a red, you can do instant speed. Heartflame Slash deals 3 damage to any target, which is just nice. It's a nice utility. Otherwise, it's a 3/1 for 2 in white. And then instant sorcery spells you control have lifelink. Dang, that's powerful. It's not overpowered, it's just this is a solid freaking card. This is getting real close to an old Tarkir card right here. Next up, we got Lord Skitter's Blessing. It's a that is every NPC from a We Just Don't Care Anymore fantasy RPG game. Or like an Easter egg character like the Mudcrab Dealer. Shout out to my Mudcrab Dealer fans. Anyway, it's a 2 cost black enchantment. When Lord Skitter's Blessing enters battlefield, create a Wicked roll. Oh, we get to find that one out now. Token attached to a creature you control. It's +1/+1, and when the aura is put into a graveyard, each opponent loses 1 life. Okay, so nothing too crazy, but it's nice. Then at the beginning of your draw step, if you control an enchanted creature, you lose 1 life, and you draw an additional card. Hey. Well, it's an aura. I completely screwed that up that it is an actual aura token. I think I said earlier in the video that it's like not a permanent, it's just a reminder. No, it's a permanent. That's interesting. That kind of changes that other aura stack thing too. I don't know. So next up, Torch the Tower. Heck yeah, burn it down. Fight the man. Okay, I threw it on the ground. And it's a 1-cost red instant common bargain, which, you know, that is sack something. Torch the tower, not torch of the tower, deals 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If this spell was bargained instead, it deals 3 damage to that permanent, and you scry 1. And then if a permanent dealt damage by torch the tower would die, this turn, exile it instead. Okay, I mean, you're sacking something, so you could have probably used that, but, you know, crank it up. And that was actually the very last card, so thanks for watching, everybody. I'm sure we'll have more crazy leaks, spoilers, and everything in between. I cannot wait to hear the answer to what that Planeswalker stamp is, or what it's supposed to mean or do, and why the ones that don't have it don't have it. My guess is it's standard legality is what it means, but that's an odd thing to affix to the card permanently. But there's so much confusion with, like, the side products and all this stuff. And they announced recently some kind of special... They're just bringing masterpieces back is the best I can say. But they're like deck specific, but the ones we saw without it aren't. But then they're from like the promo pack, which... Are they even standard legal? I'm sure this has been heavily speculated or solved or revealed by WotC already, but they don't usually comment on leaks. And if they do, it's not on a weekend, that's for sure. So we're probably a couple days away from just finding out normally, but... This is weird. I didn't expect that. Also, fairly tame power level from what we've seen so far, so I can appreciate that, but that just means it's not going to sell very well, and they probably should have gotten a little more aggressive with the ban announcement in Standard. But it's mostly, you know, they're just selling to Commander players at this point and hoping they can make 1/5 of what they did back in 2014. That's a shame. And some of these are clearly just like Commander Horizon cards, you know what I mean? So yeah, sad state of things, but certainly interesting. So, you know, subscribe so you don't miss any more Throne of Eldraine news and, or other whatever we are, Wilds of Eldraine, that place, yeah. Whatever, Elksville. So, thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you next time.